Hi and welcome everybody to episode 46 of the Talk is Cheap show, and I'm delighted to be able to say that we're here in our new salubrious surroundings, so thank you very much for joining us. We've got a great show ahead of us today. Thank you so much for your responses to our show last week, of which there were many. Very popular show. We put the question to you, is it time to put some respect on Stan Kroenke's name? And I have to say that the vast majority of you weren't having it, man. To sum it up, you were saying that it was far too little, too late. So, but there you go, man. We enjoyed the interaction. Keep it coming. But like I said, before we go any further, it's my great pleasure to introduce my co-host, analyst, and resident expert, Mr. Big C in the house. What are you saying, bro?
Something, bro. Good to see you.
And you, man. Tell the people what you've been up to, bro.
Same old, man. Just trying to stay, healthy, COVID-free. Been in the gym, playing football. AFTV FC. We're back in action.
Yeah, a couple of big games coming up. For those of you who don't know, we're AFTV FC. We joined the league now, which commences at the weekend. We had a friendly last week against Hackney Wick, which we duly won 4-0. Although I have to be honest and say that the scoreline flattered us a little bit. But tell us a little bit about the game, Curtis.
Yeah, it's a friendly game, innit? The main aim was fitness and to get ready for the league. It was a good game, man. Bobby always gives us a good game at Hackney Wick.
Shout out to Bobby.
Yeah, big up Bobby, man. Physical encounter as always.
Yeah, good game. And you're looking forward to the league game this week. Yeah, nice one. Okay. Before we go any further as well, I just want to say we're in the middle of Black History Month, for those of you who don't know. So shout out to black people everywhere, man. You know what I mean? All the people watching the show. And not to say that we're excluding everybody else. Big up everyone. But yes, it's Black History Month. So we want to shout out all those watching, say, big, happy Black History Month. Also, it's necessary to shout out all the black people or people of colour and BAME involved in football at all levels, right? Not just the players, managers, people in the boardroom, but that extends right down to people who watch the game, people involved in the game, everywhere. So yeah, happy Black History Month. Right, bro, the section of the show, news and notes, where we look back at things making the headlines in the past week. I made a few notes there. I guess the first story to really hit the headline was the proposal to scale back the league and to offer a financial package to the EFL. It's since got voted down, got rejected. But any thoughts on that? Operation Big Picture?
I mean, so they wanted to get rid of the League Cup, the Community Shield, reduce the league to 18. So I suppose less games help them concentrate on the European competition.
That's right.
I think a lot of that money that lower league clubs get from competitions like the League Cup is very important for them. And I think it's important at the moment that the kind of big fish, they worry about the lower end of the scale. So I think getting rid of the League Cup, although it's not the most glamorous of competitions, these clubs make money from that. I think they're very much thinking about themselves at the top, and I think that's why it was voted against. They tried it, but
it didn't work out. That's not to say that the issue won't go away. I'm sure that there will be some more proposals similar to this in the further months coming. But yeah, I think most people predicted that it would get rejected in the end, which it was. But I don't think we've heard the last of that yet. But anyway, moving on then. Also in the past week, we had the international break. I know Curtis was one that was very excited about the international break, but just a quick recap. So then we had 3 games. The first one, we played Wales. Bukayo Saka making his debut and impressed as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did well.
He had a good game, man. So.
Do you know what? I actually think, it's hard to say with Saka where he's actually going to end up on the pitch, because he was brilliant at left back last season. We've seen him play central, on the right, on the left. It'd be interesting where he eventually ends up playing. But he had a good debut. He looked confident.
He did, yeah. Ainsley Maitland-Niles had a decent game in that game as well. So shout out to those two. We won the game 3-0, so that was good. Apparently it was a good performance. I didn't see all the game.
Apparently, yeah, so you weren't tuned in.
Well, you know what, I do like to watch England games, but I was otherwise engaged. But I did watch the highlights, and I did enjoy the 3-0 win. Yeah. And then the second one was arguably more impressive, because we got a win against the official world number 1, Belgium. I did watch that game. We were a bit fortunate, to be honest, but we got the win, which is the important thing. So, and then moving on to the final game.
The Harry Maguire show.
It kind of went from the sublime to the ridiculous,
that was it, yeah.
You go from beating the world number 1 to losing at home to Denmark.
Poor.
Although Denmark are not a bad team, are they? They're a decent team, man.
I just think with England, the manager, you know, so negative.
You're not having him.
You're leaving players like, I look at Grealish now, for me, one of the most talented players in the league. Sancho being linked with Man United, £100 million. You've got these guys on the bench. You're playing 4 right backs. I mean, what is this guy thinking? You know, you just got to a World Cup semi-final and you're playing defensive at home against Denmark, and then Harry Maguire, you know, carries on from the Greek nightmare, puts it on a Wembley pitch. You know, maybe that's 60,000 bar tab. Maybe we're still hungover. I think they need to pull Maguire out the firing line.
Oh, you do? I was going to ask you about that, because there's a school of thought that says, do you pull him out the firing line and give him time to get his mind right, or do you know, if you take him out of the firing line, it will focus all the attention on him, and I don't know, it's a difficult one.
I mean, we play Man United in a few weeks. If it plays like that,
you'll take that,
I'll take that. Aubameyang and them, man, will be eating well that day. So, yeah, but
we'll see what
happens. I'm
happens.
glad the international break's over. As soon as that full-time whistle went, I thought...
I get that impression that you're not too made up about the international break.
Not at all.
There's another one coming up in a few weeks' time, bro. You know what? I just want to say as well, congratulations to Eddie Nketiah, because he played for the under-21s. They played Turkey. He scored one of the goals in the 2-1 win, and in doing so, he broke Alan Shearer's under-21 goal-scoring record. So, big up Eddie. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I know.
Don't lead me down that path.
I know that you're not wholly convinced that he should be starting for Arsenal, but you know what? Credit where credit's due, man. Big up the man. So yeah, respect due.
Yeah.
Okay then. So moving on, we'll go straight into it. Our main topic of the week: international break over. It's our first game back, and it's a big one, man.
Yeah.
We're going to Man City. And that's going to be a massive game. We're going there off the back of a win our last game. So, yeah, I just wanted to get Curtis's thoughts on the game, how things are going to play out. Will Thomas Partey play? If he does play, where will he play? Who will he partner? And perhaps more importantly, can we get a win? So, where do you want to start, Curtis?
I mean, I think a lot of this will be down to the manager. I remember the first game after lockdown, we spoke about this game before. I felt like we went there not to lose, and I think that's the wrong attitude. We haven't beaten a top 6 team away from home for years. It's a bad record, and we need to end that record this season. Aguero's injured, Jesus is injured, De Bruyne's injured, although they're saying De Bruyne may turn up on the day.
Meaning that he will turn up.
He probably will turn up, but they've got no out-and-out number 9. You know, they may have to move Sterling central or something. Go there and be positive. You know, you can't go to City and be all out attack. They'll kick you off, we know that. But we saw with Leicester the other week, they sat back, soaked up pressure, exploded on the counter-attack, and they couldn't cope with Vardy's pace. We've got the likes of Pepe, Aubameyang, you know, very quick players. Willian's fairly quick, Lacazette. Hit them on the counter-attack.
But we don't really play that way though, do we?
But I think we're going to have to. You know, I remember Brendan Rodgers said after that game, he said, I played a style today that I wasn't comfortable with. He said, I like to dominate the game. But he said, I had to be respectful that City are so good on the ball. But you can hit them because they attack, they push both fullbacks high. They leave gaps at the back. Even Leeds, you know, they drew with City the other week and they could have won the game. So go there and be positive. Our attack is probably the strongest part of our team.
Yeah.
Look, I don't think we've got nothing to be afraid of against this City team. You know, we know they're a quality team, but they look a little shaky, and I just hope Arteta.
Well, they certainly did in their last game.
Yeah, very shaky. Yeah, go there and be positive, man. Try and get the win.
Okay. Well, listen, I've pulled out some receipts on previous games. So a quick little rollout of the facts and figures pertaining to this game. So let's start by saying that Man City are unbeaten in their last 9 Premier League games with Arsenal, winning 7 and drawing 2, including that dreadful performance we put in a few months back when David Luiz did one of his David Luiz performances. Right, okay. During the last 3 Premier League meetings with City, we've lost all of those, shipping 3 goals in 5 of those 6 games. So, again, not very good. Arsenal won just one of their last 9 away league games against Man City. Winning, the last time we won there was in January 2015.
Santi Cazorla masterclass.
I remember that game.
Yeah.
We lost all 4 games at the Etihad since Pep took over City in 2016. A bright note, though, is that City have won just 4 points from their last 3 league games this season. So maybe there's some...
started well.
Yeah, and they're winless in their last 2 Premier League games. Kevin De Bruyne has scored more Premier League goals against Arsenal than he has any other side. And I remember last season he was quite vociferous about that, saying that he regarded the Arsenal game as perhaps his easiest game of the season. Aubameyang's not done very well against City, although he did do in the FA Cup semi-final. But previously he's not really done that well there. So
well, listen, this
it's
is
not great.
This is one. This to me is. I think if you look at previous games where they've beaten us, I think they've kind of had too much for us to deal with. You know, we've gone there before and played okay, but they were just too good and we couldn't contain them. I look at this City team now. I think, you know, they've got new defenders. Aguero always seems to score against us. He's missing. You know, we've got Gabriel. Partey, for me, I know we're going to get to him, but for me, he has to start this game. I don't want to hear nothing about time to settle in. None of that. Start Thomas Partey. Listen, Arteta, start him in this game. I don't want De Bruyne walking off this pitch saying that was my easiest game against Tottenham. I want to see a few bruises on his ankle or something, you know. Put Partey in.
Statement of intent.
Yeah, give him something to worry about. He played for Atletico before the international break. He's played both games for Ghana.
Although his first game against Ghana wasn't too great.
He got 3 out of 10 apparently, but we'll forget about that. But he got 2 assists in the second game.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He must be chomping at the bit. This is what he came to the Premier League for, to play in these games. We've got Man City away. What are you going to do? Put him on the bench to play El Neni or Xhaka? Start him in the team, give the team a boost, and let's go for it. And I think City are there to be beaten.
Yeah, I think so.
Although, don't get me wrong, I just want to point out, if they do play well, it's not like, you know, City are still favourites, let's be honest, even without Aguero. But there's nothing that we have to be scared of. We can go there and be positive. Even if we get a draw, it's a positive result. Don't lose the game.
True. So. Right, so okay, so you alluded to Partey then, so I think it's pretty obvious, pretty unequivocal that Curtis wants him to start, as I'm sure pretty much all the fan base do. I know I certainly want him to start. So the obvious question being then, who do you partner him with in midfield, and what formation would you play in that game?
I'd go back to 3 in midfield. I'd play 4-3-3. I would play Partey and Ceballos.
Right.
And I'd play Willian in the 10 just in front, so quite attacking. For me, I mean, do you know what?
Do you think he'll be that adventurous?
No chance.
I don't think so.
No, this is what I would play. You know you're going to see a Granit Xhaka in there. You know, you might even see an El Neni.
So let me put you on the spot, because although I hear your attacking formation, but I somehow don't know if that's going to work. But who would you partner Partey with if you're Arteta?
Arteta will play 3-4-3, I reckon, what he's been playing. Right? And I reckon he will probably, if he's brave enough to play Partey, he'll probably play Xhaka next to him. That's what I think he will play. I would have thought so. Because of the solidarity in there.
I mean, to be fair, this is my understanding of it. This is how I've been reading it, is that he will play Partey, well, hopefully he does. And Xhaka partner him because Xhaka's got he has a better range of passing than El Neni does. El Neni tends to play simple.
Than El Neni,
Yeah, so El Messi. But yeah, so I would imagine that Xhaka will get the berth next to him.
Yeah.
So how do you think that will work then? So we know that Partey is a good ball carrier, it's box to box. So you think Xhaka will sit a bit deeper and protect offer some protection to the back four?
I think Arteta will try and get a performance like the FA Cup semi-final.
Right.
If you think back to that game, City actually dominated that game. They had a lot of the ball, a lot of chances. But again, we hit them on the counter-attack. They couldn't cope. Aubameyang in behind, too quick, and goal. I hope Pepe plays this game because Pepe ripped Mendy apart that day. He's just had a great performance against Sheffield United. Come on, change the game, scored a great goal. Don't do your usual Arteta, play it safe, Willian on the right. Because what message are you sending?
Substitutions after 75 minutes.
Substitution, Eddie for Lacazette, Pepe for Willian. It's getting predictable. Give him a little curveball, man. Give it something different. Pepe deserves to start this game.
Yeah,
you're sending the wrong message to him if he comes on, plays like that, and again he's benched. He's going to say, "What do I have to do to get in the team?"
Yeah.
So I want to see Pepe start.
Yeah, I would like to see Pepe start. Where would you play him now?
I'll play him on the right.
On the right,
Get Mendy,
cut back in on his left foot. Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to see Aubameyang through the middle.
Yeah, you know what? We've been saying that on this show for a while. But do you think he'll do that though?
No, I think he'll go Lacazette again.
Or will he play Eddie? Because Eddie, one thing Eddie does offer you is a prodigious work rate. Not to say that Lacazette, I mean, listen, man, if it was between the two, I'm going for Lacazette, but I can see why at times that Arteta will opt for Eddie because he does give you that prodigious work rate. He gets through a lot of work, he's nippy, he's quick. In terms of pressing, it could be argued that he would offer a more effective press because he will get around the pitch just that little bit more. But then Lacazette is stronger on the ball.
And the thing is, against City, they're so good on the ball. When you get it, you got to look after it. And I think Lacazette's better at that than Eddie is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, you know,
we're saying that, but what do you think Arteta will do?
He could play Eddie, you know. It wouldn't surprise. He started him last time, didn't he, when we played them away from home? But I would use Eddie off the bench in this game. I'd like to see Saka on the left and Aubameyang through the middle.
Yeah, I'd like to see. We were talking the other day, weren't we, about Aubameyang not getting the chances he should be getting, and that's because he's been sacrificed out on the wing. But with a game like this, will he?
I don't think he will.
Choose to change it.
The problem is, you know, Aubameyang, it's great against, you know, teams where you get the ball to him. You look at that Liverpool game away, didn't get the ball to him. He spent most of the game tracking back. This City game could be similar. We've then got Leicester, we've then got Manchester United. So I look at that chance that Lacazette got at Anfield. You know, in them big games, you may only get one or two chances. I think Aubameyang scores that. He's so confident. It's just naturally happening for him in front of goal, chance, goal. Do you know what I mean? So,
because I must admit, I felt a bit sorry for Aubameyang. I mean, he got a goal in the first game, but he's not scored since. No. And he's getting very few chances out there. In fact, we came across a stat, didn't we, in one of our other shows? We were saying that Arsenal are creating, we're in the bottom half of creating chances in front of goal. And that's clearly affecting Aubameyang. So his chances of scoring have been very limited at the moment. Yeah, I think, listen, if we're going to go there and try and get a win, we've got to be, like you said, we've got to be a bit more adventurous, we've got to be a bit more positive, we've got to try and take it to them. And I think that you're right, playing Aubameyang through the middle, trying to provide him with the requisite service he needs is all important. But I'm just wondering if Arteta will do that, or will he adopt a safety first
mantra? He will. I think Aubameyang will be on the left. Lacazette already through the middle, and then it wouldn't surprise me if he played Willian ahead of Pepe. Just I don't know if he feels he works harder or what, but I would love to see Pepe start. But yeah.
So what's your views on this whole? Because it's looking like a Willian Pepe debate at the moment, isn't it? Me personally, I'd like to see Pepe start more games as well. I think he needs some minutes. You saw in our last game in Sheffield United, he came on, to great effect. He also did that in the Carabao Cup game against Liverpool. And I think it's a confidence issue with him, and I don't think you're going to see him really confident until he starts getting regular work, more minutes. Now listen, there's 2 quality players, so, you know, that's the manager's job of trying to accommodate the both of them. But I think that Willian should be given the starting berth, to be honest.
Yeah.
Sorry, not Willian. Pepe, sorry, yeah. But I know you're a fully paid up member of the Willian fan club.
No, do you know what? I'll be honest with you. I was excited about Willian because I thought he was going to play number 10.
Yeah, to be fair,
with
he did say
him playing
that.
on the right, I'm kind of like, nah, that's not what I signed up for, bro. Like, we paid 72 million for Pepe. Everyone says how good Arteta was with the wingers at Man City. He's worked with Sane and Sterling. I want to see him put his arm around Pepe and show him that belief. At the same time, Pepe has to, you know, pull his finger out and work.
Yeah.
But he showed that against Sheffield United. He looked like his attitude was better. He wanted to work. You know, there was a time he ran back and blocked across. And I was celebrating that like his goal. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, so
I guess the issue is though, can he do that for 90 minutes or, you know, 70 minutes plus?
Well, that's what he's got to add to his game. The Premier League is unforgiving, and I want to see Pepe on the right and Willian in the 10. I would like to see both of them in the team. But if it's one or the other,
so how do you accommodate Ceballos then?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would change.
It's a real conundrum,
I would change formation.
Yeah.
I think moving forward, we will move from this formation because I think this is a bit defensive and counter-attacking. I do think at times he needs to change from it. I think it can work in the big games where you think, all right, City are going to have more of the ball. When we get it, we can break. But in games like Sheffield United, West Ham at home, where you should be dominating the ball, I don't think that formation is needed. You can play the extra midfielder and try and dominate the game. Yeah. So I think Partey will help him move formation moving forward, and then he can try and accommodate an extra midfielder. Maybe Willian will play 10.
Right, okay. Yeah, it's an interesting conundrum though, because you know, you're almost thinking that if we had someone creating there, like a Mesut Ozil type, dare I say it. Yeah. By the way, did you hear about his 8 million loyalty bonus? I'm sure you would have been impressed by that.
I was impressed by that. I mean, listen, I'm not going to criticise him for that because that's a common theme in big contracts. You know, they will put something in that if you get to the last year of your contract, you'll get a big bonus to encourage you to stay. It's just ironic that Arsenal are trying to get this guy out and you've had to pay him £8 million.
I thought the word loyalty as well was
I know.
a very unfortunate word.
Well, he is being loyal to us. They can't get rid of him, you know. He won't go.
But listen, to be fair to the player, listen, how many of you out there can say honestly, hand on heart, that if you didn't have a deal like that, you wouldn't want to stay as well? I mean, you know, there is an argument for saying, why should he be forced out of the club? Ozil will tell you he's been professional, he's training, he's made himself available to play. It's not his fault that he's not being played. There's a school of thought, which is being repeated by a hell of a lot of people, that that order not to play him is coming from above Arteta's head.
It's pretty obvious.
So I think, you know, on balance, it's beginning to look like that. So you can't really turn around and blame the player.
No.
On a personal level, as an Arsenal fan, I'm quite saddened that he's not playing, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm sure, because, listen, number one, he's an asset to the club. Number two, we don't have too much creativity in the side. We spoke earlier about we're in the bottom half of the tables this season in terms of creating chances. Yeah. So it does beg the question, if you've got a guy like Ozil in the team, why not deploy him in an area where you can try and at least, you know, give him the opportunity to do that? Yeah. You know what I mean?
I mean, I would have definitely, if they couldn't move him on, which they couldn't, obviously, during the window, I would have included him. Yeah. You know, they haven't named him in the Europa League squad.
No, they haven't.
They're probably not going to name him in the Premier League squad. So you've literally got a player sitting there till January on $350 a week. That, to me, is terrible management. And I still have to question who is making these decisions. As you said, we think it's coming from above Arteta, because Arteta was playing him until the pandemic, and then he refused the pay cut, and it all seemed to go from there. You know, I think they've totally mishandled the situation, and you know, he's entitled to sit there and pick up his wage at the end of the day. Even the Saliba situation.
You know what, I was going to ask you about that, because that segues nicely into the next subject, because we've spoken about the attack and midfield. We've sort of gone different route. But defensively, how do you think we'll line up, and the Saliba thing? So, okay, we'll take the Saliba thing first, because he's not going to play, is he?
No.
It's at the weekend. So, what's your thoughts on that?
I think the club, again, have had a shocker. Honestly, I really do. And again...
So for the benefit of the viewers out there that might not know, give us what your take on it is.
Yeah, so obviously we signed Saliba last summer, £25 million, labelled the new Varane. You know, I love it when they always say this, but very highly rated. And went back to Saint Etienne for a year, didn't get as much game time as they'd hoped. He only played 15 games, he got a bad injury. Then the French league was wrapped up
due to the corona. Yeah.
So the club feel he hasn't played as much football last season as they felt he needed. So he's come back pre-season, trained, played in a couple of friendlies. They've then left him out. They've then decided they're going to send him back to Saint Etienne because he lost his mum apparently during lockdown.
Yeah, that's
which is obviously a terrible thing. So I understood that. Okay, maybe he needs to be back in France with his family and play
condolences to Saliba and his family. But,
so that made sense to me. Give him another year in France. His head's not in the right place. He then doesn't go to France because Arsenal don't get the paperwork done in time. So then you're thinking, all right, keep him at Arsenal, look after him. Maybe don't put him straight into the team, use him in the Europa League, less pressure. They then leave him out the Europa League squad. And then they're saying they're going to loan him to a championship club. They're talking about Brentford or Watford. So I'm thinking, this guy's labelled the new Varane, was playing French top-level football last year. Now you're going to send him to the championship when he's had personal issues. And then they've then decided they're not going to send him on loan now. They're going to keep him, but he can't play in the Europa League because you haven't registered him. So it seems like, what are they doing? It seems like they don't even know what to do. To me, once he doesn't go to France, you've got to look after him yourself.
Yeah.
I would have said, put your arm around him, keep him in training, take a bit of pressure off him, play him in the Europa League and the cup games, and develop him here. So I think they've messed up there.
Could it be, I mean, listen, it's obviously pure speculation because we don't know, but I'm just asking you your opinion, looking at it from what we can see. Do you think it could be a case that Arteta, because let's be honest, we've got a number of centre-backs now.
Too many.
And he's looking at Saliba and thinking, well, actually, he's good, but he's not quite good enough yet. Because it does kind of smack of that, doesn't it? I mean...
But then your argument would be, outside of...
I don't see how you can be labelled as a new Varane and not good enough to get into Arsenal.
You're the new Varane, but you're not better than Socrates and Callum Chambers and Rob Holding.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound a bit...
I don't get it.
Incongruous.
Yeah, I mean, I saw him play a couple of times last year in the French league. He looked good, man. He's quick, mobile, strong.
I was genuinely excited to see the prospect of him starting
next
alongside
to Gabriel.
of Gabriel or even David Luiz, whoever it might be.
Yeah.
And now here we are. We were all getting excited about him, and now we're being told he's going to be loaned out.
The Championship.
Listen, let's hope that resolves itself.
Yeah.
But getting back to, I don't want to digress too much. Getting back to our defensive lineup for the all-important game at the weekend.
I mean, obviously Tierney, it doesn't look like will be available.
Now Tierney's an interesting case because he's obviously played very well for Arsenal when he's been in possession of the shirt. But he's another Arsenal player that's had his fair share of injuries and continues to do so. And also we're hearing that, I think in the international break, there was that COVID thing with him and a couple of the Scottish players, which means that he might not be able to play this weekend anyway.
I mean, apparently his test was negative, but because he was in close contact with the player who was positive in Scotland, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks. So, I mean, it's terrible.
I know Arsenal were trying to appeal it. I don't know what the status of that appeal is yet.
So. I reckon we'll play a back three. I reckon it'll probably be Luiz, Gabriel and Rob Holding probably. With wing backs, probably Bellerin, and it'll probably go Saka or Ainsley.
Yeah. I'd imagine he'll go Saka.
Hopefully Kolasinac isn't playing. So what do you think then? Do you think Gabriel, Louise, Holding, I reckon, in a 3.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Gabriel's been outstanding so far.
Brilliant.
So,
but he left him out at Anfield. You know, no one could understand that.
Yeah, I don't think you'll leave him out this weekend.
No, he's got to play.
Because I think Gabriel showed in the next couple of games after that was a mistake.
Yeah.
Because I remember at the time we watched that game, the league game against Liverpool, and we was aghast when we found out he wasn't playing. So yeah, man. So that's the team then. Obviously, Bernd Leno in goal. So I've got to press you, man, for a prediction. What are you saying? I mean, listen, this is a big game.
It's a massive game, really big game.
And it's a game that we cannot afford to lose.
I'm going to go for it. I hope Arteta goes for it.
I was going to say, I hope the manager.
If I see a lineup that
engenders that same spirit that you seem to be expressing here, then we'll have half a chance.
An hour before kickoff, if I look and I'm like, what's he doing there? But if he's positive enough, and surely in his mind he must think, the last time you played against Pep, you beat him in the semi-final, so you figured out how to beat him now. He's got a weaker lineup than that. I'm going to go for 2-1. I think we're going to break our hoodoo. We're going to beat Man City at the Etihad 2-1.
You genuinely think we can go there and win?
A little bit. I think we've got the players to beat them. It's how we set up.
I mean, listen, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but what I'm detecting from what you're saying is if the manager has the cojones to go for it and play the team that you think can do the job, they're capable of getting the win. And I think I concur with that as well. If we go there and we deploy that mentality whereby we're sitting back, giving up all the possession to the team and not looking to be positive, then we'll probably get submerged in a wave of attacks and we'll probably end up losing the game. Especially after City, they haven't made the best of starts. No. So this is a big game for them as well. But I think, if we can get the team selection and formation right, and just as importantly, adopt the right mindset, a positive mindset, I'm confident we can get a result. I mean, normally I would probably, given our previous history and the quality of team we're up against and the fact that we very rarely beat them, I'm probably going to go for a draw. I'm going to sit on the fence a little bit. But I am going to be positive insofar as I don't think we'll lose. Okay. So you're going for a win. I'm going for at least a draw. A scoring draw as well, 2-2.
2-2, yeah.
And I reckon Aubameyang will get back on the score sheet. And what about Partey getting his debut with a goal?
Do you think he'll start?
I think he will start, yeah.
I think he needs to.
Yeah, I think we need to, as we said earlier on the show, this game there needs to be a statement of intent. Yeah. And Partey is part of that statement. The whole, not just Arsenal fans, everybody, the whole football diaspora is looking forward to seeing how this guy is going to play. I mean, the welcome he's been getting, man, has been amazing, isn't it? Literally. Everyone's looking forward to seeing him play. Like I said, not just Arsenal fans, but the whole football fandom, you know what I mean, is looking forward to seeing him play. And I, for one, am genuinely excited. Yeah. And I think he's worthy of that status, man.
Yeah, man. He's a beast.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to stop short of calling him the new Vieira because
I think that's
we don't want to. He's the new Thomas Partey. Yeah. He's not the new Vieira, but that kind of gives you an indication of how highly thought of he is. Yeah. And as I said on the show last week, if he can beat 70-80% of what Vieira was, we've got a quality player. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, listen, we all know that you've played football at the highest level. You know that once you get an addition to your team, somebody of this ilk, that can make a massive difference, not just on the pitch, but to the confidence of the players and the whole club going forward. So we need to ride off the back of that, don't you think?
100%, yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm going for at least a draw, hopefully a win. My man there, Curtis, is going for a win.
2-1 win.
So there you have it, yeah. Okay. Right, so we're coming to the end of the show now. Thanks to you guys for watching. Appreciate you tuning in again. Curtis, man, tell the people where they can find you.
Check out the channel, Curtis Shaw TV. Lots of content out on there, and big up everyone for all your support.
Thanks again, yeah. Thanks for watching. Send us in your messages, comments on what you think the lineup should be. Should Partey start? What do you think the team should be? Do you think we can get a win? Do you think it's possible that we can go there and really put on a really good performance? Like, share and subscribe. And I would also like to say in closing, I should have said this earlier, but I'm going to say it now, is that I want to send out special condolences to our friend and fellow AFTV influencer, Lee Judges, who tragically lost his dad last week. So stay strong, Lee. Look forward to seeing you soon. Condolences to you and your family. And to the rest of the people out there, thanks for watching. And see you next week. We're out.
This video is supported by Profit Accumulator. Profit Accumulator helps you to earn extra money by doing something called match betting. Match betting isn't gambling. And when you do it properly, and I mean properly, you can't lose. Now you always see these promotions by bookmakers like Ladbrokes, William Hill's, Corals, offering a £50 bonus to customers. So you sign up and you might place a £50 bet on a coin toss landing on heads and a £50 bet on the same coin toss landing on tails. Now whichever way it lands, it don't matter, because you won't win or lose any money because you've covered all of the outcomes. However, you get the £50 bonus, so you're still £50 up. Now lots of people try to do match betting on their own, but it's very time consuming and not always easy if you don't know what you're doing. That's where Profit Accumulator come in. Even if you don't know anything about sports, they walk you through everything step by step, showing you how to accumulate money into your bank account. So get involved right now. Click the link in the description and sign up to Profit Accumulator right now.